Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? What brought you out here tonight? Is it a 5-star event? Is that why? No? Is it heard you heard that I might be able to put on a good performance tonight? Could that be it? Are you tired of speakers that get up and stand behind a podium and show you 45 PowerPoint slides and think you're going to remember them all? That's not happening tonight. Are you here because you know I'm from Colorado and you think I brought the legal weed with me? Is that why you're here? You know I didn't bring it with me. I shipped it ahead of time. It is great to be back on campus, guys. I absolutely love being back on campus. This is one of my absolute favorite places to be. It's so much fun to watch Ferris from the Mile High City. We have an amazing group of alumni out there. We have 1,063 Ferris alumni that live in Colorado. And we average over 125 people for every alumni event that we have in Colorado, making us, outside of the state of Michigan, the second largest alumni group in the entire nation. So first of all, who wants an internship with my company? And secondly, who just loves to be a ski bum and just wants to be up in Vail all day and just hit? Okay, now I know where your motivation lies. But that is, it's wonderful to be here. I love coming back on campus. That is actually a picture of me my freshman year. My freshman year at Ferris. So if you're wondering, why did you put that up there? Because no one wore a mullet like I did. No one could pull off that look, that exact look. And how I got into Ferris was literally a miracle. Now, I don't know what your story is, but I want to get real with you for a minute and get deep with you for just a second. And that is, I have before I do that, I have 3 fears tonight. The first fear was that I would walk out here and my fly would be open. My second fear would be that many of you hit a long happy hour before you got here, and so you wouldn't remember a lot of what I'm going to say. I'm looking at a bunch of people like, yeah, I'm still hitting it. And then my third biggest fear is that you would walk out of here and be able to pull great pieces of nuggets of knowledge tonight. Hence why I do have actually a couple PowerPoint slides that I am going to share with you for some things to think about. And I think this is being recorded so some other people can see it. I heard that the criminal justice students had a mandatory event tonight for the 200 CJ students who are also going through an internship program right now. So if we know where all the CJ students are, like right now is the best time to like screw things around. Like the best time. My road trip, guys, of how I got to Ferris was interesting because I sent an application to Central Michigan. I sent one to Western. I sent one to Michigan State. I didn't even try Michigan. I'm like, no way. It's not even going to happen. I tried a couple of other smaller schools, and Ferris, school that got back to me. They were a school that reacted, but I was not the strongest high school student. And I know there's a lot of people in here who are just probably the valedictorians of your class. Am I right? I was not even close. You guys remember when you took the ACT? What's the highest score you can get on the ACT? 36, correct. So I took the ACT along with all of my best friends in high school, and I scored a 13. A 13 on the ACT. Now, something had to have been wrong. It certainly wasn't my fault, right? So I went ahead and retook the ACT. I scored a 13 the second time. The reason I bring that up is that I'm not going to downplay grades tonight, and I'm not going to downplay academics tonight at all. But I am going to talk about things that you can't learn in the classroom, and I am going to talk about things that you need to be doing on campus right now to prepare yourself, not only for your internship, but to prepare yourself for that first job. So if a guy who scored a 13 on his ACT can run a multi-million-dollar company, anybody in this room can do amazing things. Do you agree? You agree? Awesome. So then we ask the question, why are you here tonight? Internships, they don't find you, you find them. Same thing goes for the competition is absolutely real. We have 6 internships in my company, 3 in the summer, 3 in the winter months. How many resumes did I get last year to intern for my company? Take a guess. 2,600. 2,600 people contacted my company. I'm a small company. Imagine what the resumes look like for some of the larger companies. So when I talk about internships, don't you find them, how do you go about doing that? That is one nugget that I want to make sure that I cover with you guys tonight, okay? The second one, the competition for internships is absolutely real. And you need to be doing things in your everyday life, in your life here at Ferris State, where you can make yourself look different than the other competitors that are out there. You know, I brought up, and he read it in my introduction, when we did beat Harvard and we did beat Yale and a lot of schools that had no idea who Ferris State was. I didn't bring that up for bragging rights. I bring that up to show you when you go to apply for an internship and you're against people from the University of Michigan and Michigan State, you can win. You can win every single time. And we're going to talk about how to make you winners tonight when it comes to getting your internship or getting that first job. If I helped you with that by the end of our time tonight, will I have been successful? Will you feel like you've taken something that was of meaning tonight? Does that sound like a good plan tonight? Outstanding. So, this should start to scare you. I love fear selling, okay? But this is where I want to start off with, and that is how employers are using technology today in order to find employees and to pick up interns that they're going to have. So I will not sound like a broken record if I repeat this a couple times tonight, but do you realize or do you know that every single thing that you've put on the internet, every post, every hashtag, every ampersand, anytime you've liked a picture, you've liked a movie, you've liked anything, anytime that you made a comment on or clicked to a certain website, everybody sees that and everybody knows about it. How many people believe that, though? You believe that that's true? How many of you would feel very comfortable with any employer being able to look at that information about you? So, the folks who don't have your hands up, the rest of this little section here is going to be for you. And the folks that did have their hands up, when we profile an actual faculty member here at Ferris tonight and show you just how much we know about you online, you may think about that a little bit differently. Because if you ever clicked on a pair of shoes, went to go buy a pair of shoes like on Amazon, and then all of a sudden you're on Facebook and that pair of shoes shows off to the right, shows up on the right, and you're like, how the heck did they find? And it wasn't just the pair of shoes, it was the actual pair of shoes that you looked at. That's my company. We're the people who are cyber tracking every single thing that you do, all the time. And when you look at the statistics don't lie. Employers are looking, and they will not hire a person with a poor reputation. And you're like, I don't even know I have a reputation. Big surprise. That's why I'm here tonight. You do have a digital reputation, and you didn't even know it. And the crazy thing is, I'm going to show you what one looks like tonight. And it may change kind of how you see yourself in a digital world, and it may change how you decide to project yourself and your digital footprint to the rest of the world. And you could say to me, okay, Luke, listen, I have my privacy settings on, so no one can see the cool things that we're doing or the stuff that I send around? The answer is yes, we can. Okay? Yes, we can. Did you? Here. You get a photo? Nice. Nice. Thank you, Don. That was awesome. If you can make me look like 1988 again, that would be awesome. The thing is that even whether you have your privacy settings on or not, when we scrape the web, we're scraping all things on the web. Your privacy setting is only for the people who are not following you. That's the only reason why privacy settings work. So, when you think about your digital image, what you want everyone else to see, how are people using that to get your next intern or to get your first job? Well, first of all, that is a true mile-high dog right there. You get the Bulldog with the Denver Broncos, you've got it all put together. Here's the secret sauce, guys. If there's one big thing you're going to take out of here, did I spell sauce wrong? No, okay. Here's the one thing that you want to make sure that you do, and this has to do with your LinkedIn profile. So let's just talk about LinkedIn first, and then we're gonna put Instagram, Twitter, everything else all together later. And by the way, if you're on your phones right now, I love it. Keep it going. I love it when people are constantly on social media. I put my ampersand at the very top if you want to have a little fun with that. We're going to have fun with a certain faculty member in a few minutes. We're going to bombard him because he's not here, and when he's not here, I get to talk about him. So, when we talk about LinkedIn, how many people today have a LinkedIn profile? Can I see your hands? Okay. How many people who have your hands up right now have updated your LinkedIn profile within the past 2 weeks? Okay, so about half the hands. Here's the issue, guys, with LinkedIn. For every internship or job that you are going to apply for, every recruiter or hiring manager is going to look at your LinkedIn profile first. And they are going to want to see an active LinkedIn profile. Here's the mind, because I work with thousands of companies who use social profiling, LinkedIn being one of them. Here's what's going through the mind of a hiring manager or someone who is in human resources. If your LinkedIn profile isn't active and updated, it makes you look lazy. That's what's going through their head. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile at all, you're trying to hide something. That's exactly what they think. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, you're trying to hide something. So, when you do have an active LinkedIn profile, these are 8 things that I want you to do, and I mean today. Well, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe this weekend. I don't know when you're getting ready for your internship. But I need you to do these 8 things before you're ready to apply for your internships. First one, you treat it like it's more than a paper CV. You know what a CV is? Fancy way of saying resume. Huh? You're impressed, aren't you? CV. It's a fancy way of saying resume. So, when you treat it like it's more than, so you don't want to copy and paste, okay, your resume into your LinkedIn profile. You actually want to write something a little more interesting about you. I was in an exercise earlier before I walked into this group today, where I was asking this group of gentlemen. I was asking, where are you from? What year of school are you in at Ferris? And what is that one hobby? What is that one hobby that you love to do? Because what everybody else does is tells you where they're from. They'll tell you what your major is. But what is that one interesting thing that you have that's about you? When you're starting to build out your LinkedIn profile, you want to start to put in the things that are interesting about you, that make you different than the other candidates. The other candidates are going to copy and paste their resumes. You want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile looks completely different than what someone else's does. Because you know what a hiring manager and an HR person do when they're clicking through and they're looking at these? They get tired. They're like, oh, same person, same marketing degree, same everything. They need something that pops out at them, something that goes, bam, look at me. I'm from Ferris State. I'm different than the rest of the candidates that are out there. What is that BAM factor that you've got on your LinkedIn profile right now? If not, you need to come up with one. We're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like. We need to make it easy for people to find you. There is a section on LinkedIn where you could put in skills that you are really good at. Okay, so if you are excellent at attention to detail, you're excellent at planning events, you're excellent at whatever it is that you are really, really good at, there's a section within LinkedIn where you could put those in. And what you need to realize is when companies are looking for people, they will put in the keywords and they will look for those people. And if those keywords are in your LinkedIn profile, it's easier for people to find you. And you want to make it easier for people to find you. You want to own your own space. How many people own theirnames.com? You own yourname.com. Just a couple. May I make that a homework assignment for y'all? Right now. Not right now. But later, hop on GoDaddy, go find yourname.com and buy it. Because the resumes and the way that people look at people in the future are all going to be digital. The days of the paper resumes are slowly going away. They want to see how you're branding yourself. What is that personal image that you're putting out there? You don't have to be a webmaster or a graphic artist genius in order to have a great presence online. In fact, if you just had your name with here's the 3 key things that I'm looking for in a company, download my resume, it's an easier place for people to find you. And that's what we're trying to do, is make it easy for them. It's hard enough to find great people, right? But we want to make it easier for people to find you. You want to handpick the right skills, follow your dream companies. Okay, this is a really big deal, guys. If you are, whatever your specialty is at Ferris, there are what I call key accounts or key companies out there that you want to follow, because they are the best of the companies out there within your industry. If you're in accounting here at Ferris, first of all, I'm sorry. But if you are in accounting, they've got the KPMG, you've got all the big accounting firms. Maybe you're like, well, when I graduate, I'd really like to live in Grand Rapids. Or when I graduate, I'd really like to live in Chicago. And if I live in Chicago, who are the top 15 to 20 outstanding accounting firms that are in Chicago? You need to be following those accounting firms within your LinkedIn page. You need to be showing them that you're of interest. Because when they're looking for interns, first thing the recruiter will see is your LinkedIn page. And here I have 50 people that are all applying for an internship at XYZ in Chicago, but only 4 of them took the time to actually follow our company. So I think we're going to start off with those 4 first, and if we find somebody we like, we'll go with them. Are you following me with this? So in the back of your mind, one of your homework assignments would be to think about, and I'm not talking 15 to 20 companies, folks. I'm talking about pick 5. Pick the 5 awesome companies that you would love to work for someday, that you would absolutely love to work for. Follow them on LinkedIn. After you've followed them for a while, this is where the digital relationships start to come into place. Now you're going to do a little detective work. And this is when you're going to be doing a little bit of research. Because how many people in the room use Google to stalk your ex? No? 2? 3? Now is the time to do your detective work inside the companies that you love. Because inside of every one of these companies that you'd like to work for, there are 5 or 6 very executive key positions. You've got the CEO, the COO, the CFO, and a couple of other C roles, maybe the VP of HR. All of these people have wonderful LinkedIn profiles. You can't randomly send these people LinkedIn invitations to become your friend. You can, but then after a while of people going deny, 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 LinkedIn then flags you, okay? But if you've been following a company for a while and you're watching some of the cool things that they're doing as a company, and I'm talking about things not that's just stuff that's going on within their industry, I'm talking about cool things they're doing. Maybe they did a post and did a story about we just raised $20,000 for at the Susan B. Komen walk, okay? Maybe that is one of the things that they posted about. One thing you can do is pull one of those heart-wrenching stories, one of those things that touched you, that really talked about that company's culture. Send the note to the CEO. I've been following your company for a while, and I really appreciated the story about the Susan B. Komen walk. I hope someday to work for a company that has the same values that I do. And then your name. It automatically is going to ask them to be your friend on LinkedIn. Do you see the difference between sending someone a note on LinkedIn that says, hey, will you connect with me on LinkedIn? Click. Or actually writing an actual personal note that talks about their company, the fact that you followed them, and the fact that they did something really cool, that they did something interesting. You are calling them out on the cool things about their culture, and you're putting it right in the face of the C-level people within the company, of a company that you would want to work for. There's nothing better for a CEO's ego to be stroked, okay? There is nothing better than you calling out something that he or she had an absolute part in or had a vision for, and they realize that someone's listening, that someone's watching. That's what I'm talking about when I say doing your detective work. Building your network, where do you start? You start with a lot of your friends. You start with a lot of your friends' families. You start with your friends' parents. You can start building your LinkedIn network in a lot of different ways, but the first thing you want to do is start looking at the companies, and then start looking at the companies that your friends and family work for. Start building and growing your network through the people that you already have. When someone friends me on LinkedIn, I can tell you if you are from Ferris State, automatically I say yes, because I support this school, and I love everybody in this room, and I will do anything I can to help you get your next job and your next internship. But if I'm working for a company in Cincinnati, Ohio, or if I'm living in Royal Oak, and you are trying to work for my company and you send me a random LinkedIn invitation, I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you. But if you are connected to someone who I know, now I'm interested. Now I want to know a little bit more about you. Open your own opportunity doors. Well, how do you do that? 4 years ago, in my company, we fired our entire sales force because we didn't need them anymore. Everybody you need to know is on LinkedIn. Every single person that you want to do business with is on LinkedIn. Every company that you want to work with is already on LinkedIn. Okay? I don't care if you're the mayor of a small town or you're a podiatrist. I saw you walk in. All of your patients are on LinkedIn. Everybody who you need to know is on LinkedIn. Now, how do you connect with these people on LinkedIn? When you're on LinkedIn, have you ever noticed there's a little button that pops up every time someone has a job promotion or when someone takes a new job? Did you notice that? If you've never noticed that, that is the most valuable button you will ever find on LinkedIn. By far, the most valuable button. Because if you know when someone has a new job or they have a promotion and you reach out to them and congratulate them, you're doing something that 98% of the other people aren't going to do. That makes you different. That makes you stand out against the Michigan State graduate. That makes you stand out against a Western graduate. When you see people that are making job and career changes and you're calling them out on it, okay, I'm going to take it to one new level. I call this going old school for new school, okay? Because it's easy to send them a note inside of LinkedIn. You're like, oh, that's easy. I'll just send them a note inside of LinkedIn. You already know where they work. You have the address of the company. They're already someone who you want to know. Write them a handwritten note. Write them a handwritten note. Watch their response. You will get calls from people that will say, my own boss didn't know it was my work anniversary, and I heard from you. You want to know the absolute secret sauce? No one else will do it because everyone else is lazy. Ferris State folks, we are not lazy, are we? We will go the extra mile in order to get the job. We will go the extra mile in order to get that internship. We will do what it takes in order to be better than the next person applying. You will not be a resume in a stack of 400 resumes. You will stand out. That's why I'm here tonight, to show you how you do that. The power of that handwritten note will take you places that you've never even seen. I was telling the guys earlier, I went out and did a search of every CEO on LinkedIn, every CEO that was a Lambda Chi Alpha in North America, and up popped 410 results. Well, in my laziness, I just picked the top 50 and hand wrote a note to each one of them, introducing myself as a brother and saying, it's impressive to see what you've done with your career. Handwritten note. I did get a note back from one of them, who then became a client. He's the CEO of P.F. Chang's. LinkedIn, your best friend. You're absolutely going to love it. You also have to show that you are a motivated job seeker. Going back to the slide before, these internship opportunities and jobs, once you graduate, don't just pop in your lap. You need to treat your job search and your search as if you are going after that yourself. Now, Sandy. How many people in this room know Sandy? Raise your hand. Sandy runs all of the social media for Ferris State. You also hear him on the radio calling the Bulldog games, football games. You hear him calling the basketball games. Hence why he's not here right now. He's getting ready for the Grand Valley men's basketball game that I am going to go to after this. Is our basketball team awesome? Aren't they great? We love following them. So Sandy decided not to be here tonight, so I'm going to talk about him. I'm going to show you some technology, folks. This is the type of things that companies are now using to do a profile on you before they decide whether you are going to get a job, before you are going to get an internship. And I'm going to show you a 60,000-foot view because I don't have time tonight to go through all the way down to a 10-foot view. But let me give you an example. When you pull up Sandy, and I do love this guy, so I can pick on him, but get your phones out because we're going to play a joke on him in a second. So, Sandy, government and politics. I know everything he's ever clicked. I know exactly where he sits on the political spectrum. I know exactly every person that he's ever supported. Everything that has to do with politics. But also sports. I could break it out into sports. I know every sports team that he follows. I know every single person that he's gotten in front of. Anybody he's tagged in a photo, I know about that. Sandy's thinking, please, Luke, make it stop. But I can't. Because I can keep going, and I know everything that he's ever liked on Instagram, on Twitter, on Snapchat, every television and film thing, all the types of music, any SoundCloud things that he has ever done, every artist that he has ever liked. Now, do you know that I know all of this information about every person in this room? I could pull all of this up at any point in time, and I could drill down at a whole sub-level and find out what you posted, what the pictures looked like, and every single aspect around that. So if we want to play a joke on him, that's his ampersand. And I wanted you to notice that he is keeping up with the Kardashians. So I want everyone, when you have a moment, to get on Twitter, Instagram, no matter what you're using, and congratulate Sandy for being such a huge fan of the Kardashians. Because I think everyone needs to call him out on that since he's not here right now. This is the way we do it, guys. This is the big picture, the way companies do it, the way we do it. You've got a Ferris student. We've got locations where the students are, and then we do a complete scrape of the internet. Everything from the web to any text messages that we can pull up to any voice calls, everything that's been done in social media, and anytime you've written a review. You're asking, now, Luke, where would I get a review? Well, if you're really good with your LinkedIn profile, guys, you need to start publishing. When I say publishing, I mean a paragraph, okay? When I say publishing, I mean you've given an original thought to something, okay? So say, for example, that you are a CJ student, and you want to write a story about here's some really cool ideas I have for how to increase public safety during riots, or here's some ideas I have about new technologies that should be invented, and you put that out on your LinkedIn profile. You start publishing those things. The more people start liking and sharing those with other people, it starts to make you look like you are a thought leader on this topic. The thing that we look for the most in a lot of our employees are thought leaders. People who are not just thinking about what they're doing, what's going to be next? What's going to be that next thought? And if you're the person who can write that, if you're the person who can write about it and get it out there, what does that do? More exposure, gives you another place for employers to find you. And number two, it shows you it shows you as the expert in that space and in that area, and that's what you want to be. If you are competing with someone from Western or Central or State, and they're pulling up your profile, and you have 3 or 4 published thoughts, 3 or 4 published ideas, and someone from Michigan State or Michigan doesn't have any, they're going to look at you first. Activity drives success. Why don't people do it? For the same reason not everyone runs a marathon. I can show you how to run a marathon, but I can't get you to put your shoes on in the morning. People are normally lazy. So when I talk about you need to get the work done in order to get the job, this is what you're competing against. This is what successful people are doing in order to make themselves different from the rest of the people that are out there. Now, I call this the Super B. This is the type of employee that my company wants to hire. Okay? What is the Super B? B is your grade point average. So how many people in here could apply for a company because you've got the B point average? Awesome. When you talk about energy, tenacity, resilience, the ability to learn, and the ability to receive feedback, How many of those things are taught in a textbook? None of them. These are skills that you need to have coming into the workforce that you don't see on a regular basis. These are skills that you need to have and bring to the job that we can assess ahead of time. I've hired people that are C students. They were C students in college, but they have energy out the roof. They have a ton of tenacity and resilience. When something goes bad in their life, they know how to bounce back. If their day is not going well, they don't let it go on for the rest of the week. They put it behind themselves and jump back in and do it again. These are the type of people that we like to hire. And in my company, we only have 2 rules. Anybody in this could work for my company because we only have 2 rules. You've seen these performance management studies that big companies have where they have 4 and 5 pages of your performance review. My performance review is 1 card and it has 2 things on it. Number 1, you're on time. And number 2, you're perfect. Number 1, you're on time. And number 2, you're perfect. Now, what does that mean? You guys up for a bet? You guys a betting crowd? Yes? Okay. You're a betting crowd. Good. Excellent. Here's my bet. Everyone in this room, who in this room could go the rest of your time at Ferris State with every written article, every written paper that you have, and if you get an A on every single paper, I will pay your tuition for your rest of your time at Ferris. You like that bet? Oh, there's a second part to the bet. If you get anything less than an A, you get kicked out of Ferris. And you are never allowed back in. So, the bet is this. I pay your tuition because you get straight A's on everything that you write, every written assignment. Or you get anything less than an A, you get kicked out of Ferris. Who would take me up on that bet? Looking for some hands. Oh, yep, only the people with their hands up can send me a resume. Because here's the real world. Here's the real world. We were managing the social media for a large company out of Colorado Springs. They were paying us $3,000 a month to manage their social media. That's pretty normal. We spelled the word there wrong. T-H-E-I-R compared to T-H-E-R-E, used in the wrong context. Within 21 minutes, the CEO of that company called up and fired us. And I turned around and fired the employee right in front of everyone. In the real world, there is no room for mistakes. None. Right here at Ferris is where you are practicing. This is your practice playground. You even make mistakes in your internship, don't expect an offer. An internship is not a practice, it's an apprentice show. An internship is where you get to showcase your best of the best to show a company that you are worth paying after you graduate. And if you're not giving an A effort every single day at every single project, as a business owner, I don't want to hire you. You either make me money or you are saving me money, but you can't cost me money. Mistakes cost money. So, going back to that bet, all of these things here at various different levels can all be measured in a lot of different ways. But I will take the person who's the B student at Ferris or any other university, as long as you were what? Extremely active when you were on campus. Did you play a college sport? Were you in a fraternity or sorority? Were you in a business fraternity or sorority? Were you active in different campus activities? Did you show leadership skills? Did you show team skills? Did you do a lot of things that were outside of the classroom? And if you did all of that and you were able to get a B, congratulations, you are in the running for a job. If you did all of those things and were active on campus and graduated with an A, you're a unicorn. Congratulations. Because I'm not sure how people do that. I really don't. I had it was tough to go to class. I mean, it was tough to be active on campus and still find time. I remember when I graduated looking back and thinking, I don't even know how I found time to go to class. There were so many other cool things that were going on around campus, so many great things to be involved in to help you grow and to help you be a better person. School was just one piece of that. And I can tell you, employers look for that. Because they will look and say, if you've got straight A's, congratulations, but you didn't do anything else in school, yeah, probably you will be passing on you. But if you're doing a lot of things and being active, that's pretty awesome. Now, when you find that great job and you find that great internship, let me tell you, it's not always that great. And I'm going to end with this story. My first job out of Ferris State was working for a company called Wallace Computer Services. And I sold paper. So if you've seen the show The Office, Dunder Mifflin, that was me. That was me. I sold paper, and I sold a lot of paper. I really, really loved paper. I knew everything about paper. Green bar paper and different weights of paper. That's why I went to school for so many years. And just to let you know, I was on a 6-year plan at Ferris and graduated in 5, so I was actually a year ahead of schedule. That was a joke. The time that I spent in that first year and that second year with that company is when I realized what I didn't want to do with my life. And I can remember it very distinctly. I was sitting on the beach in Grand Haven, Michigan, one of my favorite places. Bless you. Blanket blessings for anybody else who sneezes. I was sitting on the beach in Grand Haven watching the boats come in and out. And I'm thinking to myself, I went to college and really put in a great education at Ferris State. And I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing now, but God meant for something to be more important for me than this. And so I got out a sheet of paper and I made 2 vertical lines. And on that first line, I wrote, here are the things that I love to do. Here are the things that I absolutely love to do. And in the middle, I wrote down, here's the things that I'm good at. Now, it's interesting, some of the things that you're good at are not always the things that you just love to do. If there's something that you're actually really good at, it's because other people told you you were really good at it and you didn't think that you were good at it. That's called a hidden talent. You don't think you're good at it, but other people think that you're good at it. So I made that list. And on that third column, it was here's everything I never want to see in a job and I never want to see in an employer ever again. Because that job was very, very frustrating for me. I took that list and for the next 6 to 8 months shopped my talents that I got here at Ferris State and in the experience levels of that first job out of college. And I started shopping it around to different companies to see which one I wanted to go with. Which company and which job matched to the things that I just love to do, the things that I'm really good at, right? But have the least amount of the stuff that I hate. Does that make sense? Got down to the end of that 8 months and I had 3 job offers, 3 opportunities. The first one was for $45,000 a year plus commissions and a car, and that was with a healthcare company, and I would be selling bedpans. About every morning when you think you get to sell bedpans. The second opportunity was $42,000 a year plus a car, bonus and commissions, and I was going to sell paper. So how about that? Would you give up your soul to be doing the exact same thing that you hated to do for twice as much money? The third option was a company for $26,000 no car, plus bonus and commissions. Which job did I take? The last one. I was with that company for 15 years. That's the company that moved me to Colorado. That's the company that gave me all the skills that I had. That's the company that within 2 years of being with that company, now at age 26, was making twice as much as what I could have in the other 2 jobs combined. Don't go after the money is my purpose in this last piece. Go after your passion for what you want to do. Go after the passion for things that you're good at. Go after the things when you get up in the morning, you get to say to yourself, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get a chance to do this again today. You want to be happy with what you do. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm 46 years old. There are a lot of people out there that I see every day that just hate their jobs. They hate their bosses, they hate their jobs, and they get up and they go to work every day. And these are the people, you know them because you see them on Facebook. TGIF. Can't believe it's Sunday. Can't believe I got to go back to work tomorrow. You know, can this weekend extend any longer? Most of the people I know are very, very sad with the careers that they chose and the jobs that they chose. I'm here to tell you today that if you go after that internship and you go after the job that fuels your passion, you go after the career that allows you to get up every morning and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get a chance to do this again today, your passion will turn into money. Your passion will turn into money. I'm going to be up on the stage to answer any questions afterwards. My name is Luke. I am the head of the Mile High Bulldogs out in Colorado. I loved being here with you guys tonight. I hope you got 2 or 3 nuggets of some good information, and thank you for coming out tonight. So.